How you guys doing? This is Jason with Tuna Tech, and today, as you can see, I have some audio devices. So today is aimed at audio. So let's get to it. Okay, so you're probably wondering, you got some CMF buds, some nothing buds, and it looks like some Sony headphones. So today we're talking about another audio device from a company of a company. What am I talking about? These right here. These are the CMF by Nothing Headphone Pro. So Nothing recently released the Headphone 1, which by my take was one of the best headphones released this year, and that's more the premium segment at $299. These are coming in as of right now at $99. If you would have jumped on these before they were out and shipped, they were 15% off, like $85-ish. So here's what we got. We've got a headphone that, is supposed to be cheaper than the Nothing version. It's tailored for audio. It says with adaptive adaptive ANC, personal sound and spatial audio, crystal clear with 40mm drivers that have LDAC and high-res certifications, intuitive, expressive design with tactile controls and removable ear cushions. So if you go back and watch my video on the headphone ones from Nothing, they had tactile controls for volume and all that stuff. And it has 100 hours of playback with fast charging, and you can kind of see some of the design cues. Now, typical CMF fashion, usually they have some kind of gimmick, like these have like a little space for a lanyard. These are CMF earbuds. These are the Pros, and you can hear this. It's got a little click. You can use in volume. You can pause to play. They always have a little bit of a gimmick, and I wouldn't say gimmick, something a little unique. Nothing kind of does that too, with clear designs and interesting designs. So CMF is more focused on budget with a design, and you get great value. So that's what this is. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and we're going to see what they're all about. It should be interesting to note, interestingly to note, it does use the X app, like the Nothing X, so which works with their watches, CMF watches, their phones, Nothing phone, headphones, earbuds, all that. First thing that falls out of the box is some very good instructions with a QR code. You scan that and you can download the X app to work with your phone. You got stuff you should never eat but keeps things dry, and then you have the earbuds. So before we get into it, the most unique feature of these, besides its unique, I guess I wouldn't say really unique look, so these are some Sonys, and they're plastic, all touch, not a whole lot of tactile buttons, and they look like headphones. So these are the CMF ones. Very similar design. I mean, it's kind of like a slab phone. You can only make a headphone look as unique as possible. I think Nothing did a very good job making something look unique. Wow, very controversial and polarizing. With the Nothing headphone ones, these are a little different. So the unique thing about these is these right here, these cushions, screw off, and you can get different colors. And I think they only come in, blue, like a weird looking blue, the gray, and then orange. But again, at the time of this recording, I can't get a hold of them, not available yet. And here in the US, just like their CMF phone accessories, more than likely, I don't know if it's 100% sure, those are probably not going to be available. And if they are, it's going to be a little bit. So either way, the ear pads here are customizable by swapping them out. Also in the box, you've got not a case, which is expected for this price range, but you got a CMF by Nothing little bag, little nice bag you can wipe things down with too, and no charging cable. But oddly enough, it did come with a headphone, a 3.5mm headphone jack, which for me, I use these on my live stream podcast. If you're interested in checking out my live stream podcast, it's called The Tech Disruptors with Darren. It's Sundays at 4 p.m., so you can check it out if you want. But I might use these for one of the live streams, see what it sounds like on that. Let's get this stuff out of the way. So, quick overview, that is what these are. The cushions are very soft. Wow, I mean, very, very soft. I'm just going to throw them on my head. And as you can see in the cup, it says L and R, so this is your right side. And let me just throw them on. You're not going to mistake these for premium, ultra premium, because they are plastic and they are not as nice feeling as the Sony's here. Very much almost identical, but slightly a little bit less feeling than these. Definitely don't feel, I don't think as good as the Nothing headphone ones, but the cushions are good and they're very comfortable. Like I said, the battery is, the sound is a 40mm driver that's coated with nickel plating. The battery does have, it's rechargeable, 720 milliamps. It does 100 hours like it says, but with fast charging, you can get 8 hours of playback at 50% volume in a 5-minute charge. And then with ANC on, in a 5-minute charge, you get 4 hours of playback. So that's pretty amazing. Usually your headphones are going to last longer than your earbuds, but either way, it does use ANC. It says up to 40 decibels. Again, 5 total mics. ANC is kind of hit or miss on some of these sometimes. I don't really care too much about that, as long as it kind of, you know, it's already got a good seal on the ear, so it's going to have pretty good passive noise control, but added in the active, it should be a little nicer. It has a Bluetooth 5.4, and it does all kinds of crazy stuff. It does Google Fast Pairing, obviously. It does have LDAC and high-res certification for wired and wireless. LED charging status, and it's IPX2 water and dust resistant, so if you're out in the rain, shouldn't have too many problems. Now, on the controls itself, it does have a little slider right here, and this slider is for 2 modes, switching by app, the bass and treble tuning. So kind of unique. I don't know if a lot of people will care about that. That looks like a microphone right there. Then you have your power and your Bluetooth pairing button, another microphone, and then your headphone jack input. You got USB Type-C charging. Again, does not come with a cable, but if you have an Android device in the last 6 years, 5 years, you're probably more likely going to have a USB cable of some sort. If you do have any CMF or Nothing earbuds, you probably have a short USB Type-C cable with those. You have a roller here for volume up and down, and then you can press to play, pause, or long to switch your ANC modes. There is also another button on this button right here. Where's the other button now? There should be another button for, yeah, right here, I'm sorry. I just bypassed it. Here is it's a default, is for your smart assistant. So if you're an Apple, it's Siri. If you're an Android, it's Gemini. You can also set it up probably to use ChatGPT if you're using a Nothing device, because that's kind of who they partnered with. And there should be an LED on here that indicates your charging stat level, but I don't know. Let's see I don't know if it shows that on here. I don't see an LED strip on here that says that, but we'll play with that a little later. So it does have a charging LED, and then it's red. The red LED is solid if it's charging, and when it's fully charged, it's white. And then obviously it works with the Nothing X app. So I don't know, you guys, are you interested in something like this? Is this something you want? What I'm going to do next is, I don't have a Nothing phone anymore. This is the Pixel 10 Pro XL. I am going to attempt to pair these with my my phone here. So I'm just going to turn the power on and see if quick charge shows up. And there you go. As you can see, CMF Headphones Pro, hit connect. It's gonna go ahead and connect to my Nothing. I do believe I have a Nothing X app on here. If not, it's going to prompt you to install it. But pretty seamless. Something the more higher end headphones you usually already have is this, and then you can hit setup, and there you go. Quick tutorial. It walks you through all the buttons, so you know what to do. Bass tuning, like with this scroll wheel, and then you have the volume controls, play, pause, and ANC, voice assistant, and then detachable. It talks about detachable ear cushions, which at this time are not even available. So it might be interesting if these are popular enough, which they probably won't be here in the US. It'd be interesting to see third parties maybe make some accessories, and that's about it. And of course, we do have an update, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do this firmware update. It looks like it does improve some quite a bit of stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and update this, and then once it's done, we'll get back. I'll listen to some music and and give you my thoughts. Alright guys, so the update is done, and as you can see, this is headphones, and you can see I got other devices on here, but my update is complete, and you have noise cancellation right here set up. It's off right now. Hit transparency mode, and so now I can hear myself talk. It actually doesn't sound bad. I don't hear an echo. My voice is kind of clear, not too bad. And then you can hit noise cancellation. We'll click on that next. Okay, that's actually pretty good. There was a machine I have off in the back of where I'm at that is running, and I cannot hear it anymore. So in addition to passive, the active noise cancellation is pretty good, and you have different settings. So you got low, mid, high, or adaptive. So it kind of, if you're like on a busy subway and you walk out, it'll kind of change as it goes. It does have spatial audio, concert mode, cinema mode, and off. I don't have spatial audio turned on. I'm not really a big person on that. Then you have your personal sound profile, where it will set up a personal sound profile based on some questions and some testing it does. Then you have your equalizer. Now, it's not as advanced as a lot of the more pro level headphones, but you have pop, rock, enhanced, electrical, classical, and custom. It's set to pop automatically, so I'm just gonna leave it there. You got your controls, low lag mode, so if you're gaming or watching media. You have dual connection mode, and that's pretty much it. So standby ANC, high quality audio. Let's see what we have here. Oh, they have LDAC and AAC, which you can change back and forth. YouTube music, if you're listening, let's get on the board with lossless audio, just like Spotify, Tidal, and Apple Music. But hey, we can wish. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up some YouTube music, and I'm going to go to, let's just pick some songs that, let's just see, I'll hit. So we're going to listen to a song called Options by NF. He's a American rapper, and let's just hear what it sounds like. So right now I have ANC on pop EQ, and I have the slider for bass turned all the way down. So it is like, it does make a difference. It's definitely not a bass. Okay, the bass isn't too bad. It's even turned all the way up. At least in a rap song, it doesn't sound too overbearing. I don't know why people want a bass slider. I don't think this is the early 2000s, but hey, I mean, maybe it's in that price category. That's what people want. Let's some Eminem here. Okay. Okay, so again, the sound is good. The bass is very, I wouldn't say it's the top of the line, but it's good. Again, Nothing Headphone One at $299 does sound more balanced, but again, you're paying 3 times the money. So we'll listen to Blink 182 one more time as my last song. This is just like a guitar song. I will tell you guys, the highs are really good on this song. Okay, let me just. Okay, so a couple things. Let me just lay these down. So a couple things about these. They sound good. I mean, they sound really, really good for the price. They feel pretty good. I mean, you got a lot of padding right here. You got padding in the things. They are, got a little bit of metal in the extending arms. They fold nicely as well as they can for this price and fit in that pouch they come with. ANC is good. I don't know call quality. I don't really use headphones and earbuds when I'm making phone calls usually. But what I will say, this slider right here, yes, it's more for bass, but it sounds like to me, in addition to bass, it also kind of raises the treble and the mid-range. So it's kind of like more of a loudness slider. So maybe keep that in mind. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I guess it's kind of like old school loudness button. It makes everything just a little more punchier. It's kind of like if you have a phone, you take a picture and it's more contrastier. I guess it kind of makes things more enhanced. But overall, guys, $99, it's a pretty good deal. Now, with something like these that are, these aren't sold anymore. I think these are the 4s. They have the 6s out now. But when these were new, these are $300, $400, $500 headphones. These are $99. They do sound really good. But there's a lot of companies out there like Anchor or Soundcore, even the company Wise, the smart home company Wise, WYZE, have a wireless headphone for like $59, $60. But I think these are a very good middle point. So they're not ultra cheap, so they look decent, they sound really good for the price, but they're not your $30 Chinese Temu headphones. But they're also not all the way to the $500-$600. Now I know a lot of you have iPhones and you use the Air Max, whatever they're called, the Apple versions of the headphones, and by far those are way overpriced at $550, $600. I think if I was someone who's looking for a high-end headphone, I'd definitely go with the Nothing Headphone 1 or the Sony's 6s. But if you're looking for something that's more in your price range, $100 and under, I think you can never go wrong with CMF. They have knocked it out of the park with their earbuds by far. I recommend these to everyone. For the price, you can't beat these. Nothing makes good headphones too, but they're a little more pricey. But again, CMF phone, CMF headphones, CMF earbuds. If you are interested in budget lines that kill their price line, like way beyond your expectations, check them out. These are no different. So again, CMF Headphones Pro, check them out at their website. I'll leave a link in the description. $99. Pick them up. If you have questions, leave them in the comments. Peace.